So there have been a number of schemes proposed for geoengineering, and I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm going to pick a few examples, but they're generally bent into two groups. One is solar radiation management, which is basically cutting back on the amount of incoming solar radiation, whether I'm using sunshades in space or doing things in the atmosphere or changing the Earth's surface. And the other option is pulling CO2 out of the atmosphere, CO2 removal, using a lot of different techniques. I'm going to talk about a few. So, method one for reducing the amount of sunlight hitting the Earth is called stratospheric aerosol injection. What does that mean? Well, scientists pay attention to what happens in the natural environment. And something they've known for a long time is when you have very large volcanoes, we see a drop in temperature around the world. Why does that happen? Well, very big volcanoes like Mount Pinatubo that erupted in the Philippines several times, but in 1991, it lofted so much stuff into the stratosphere in the form of aerosols, sulfur dioxide, that you actually get a haze. This dark layer here is an after photo. Here's a before photo looking at the atmosphere. Here's an after. And you can see this drop. You see this big uptick in optical depth. That's where we actually introduce some dimming of the sun. And it lasted for a while, right? This stuff stays up there for a while, a few years. And there's a measurable drop in temperature. And we see this repeatedly when large volcanoes erupt. We see it with Pinatubo. We see it with El Chichon. You can look back through the record and see evidence of changes. So we're taking a lesson from Mother Nature. So the idea is, well, if Mother Nature can do that, why don't we? So there have been a variety of schemes proposed, ranging from zany to pretty low tech. And they all have to do with getting aerosols into the stratosphere and keeping them there for years and years and years. So for example, if we used existing technology, if we used aircraft, this would be the equivalent of taking a small airline and just saying, you do nothing but spray aerosols in the stratosphere for the next N decades. So think about how much that costs. Buy your own airline and do nothing but spray this stuff into the stratosphere.